This is just another exclusive input we are bringing to you on the Rameshwaram blast case. Now, CNN News 18 has accessed the investigation's details. 2022 pressure cooker bomb is key to the module that's been busted, and the idea in fact was to do something big one day. In fact, top intelligence sources have told CNN News 18 that so far major investigations have not been done, but this is a major arrest that has taken place today of the accused and the co-conspirator. We are hopeful that one major module is finished. That is what intelligence sources are telling us. This is also linked to the 2022 Bengaluru pressure cooker blast case. For more details, let's quickly go across to Harish. Harish, every time an ISIS module has been busted, they've seen that the investigations have indicated there has been a larger sort of ISIS hand, where in fact ISIS Khorasan province has often surfaced, especially in the blast case of the Bengaluru cooker blast. What are intelligence sources telling you with regards to how ISIS Khorasan province or any other ISIS operating from South Asia could be involved?
Well, if you look at the ISIS Shimoga module itself, they got radicalized somewhere between 2019 and 2020. And Abdul Taha Mateen attends a radicalization camp that was in Bengaluru. These were ISIS operatives from Coimbatore who had carried out that radicalization camp. Then he gets back to Tirthalli in Shimoga, radicalizes other people. And one of the initial ones who gets radicalized is somebody who was arrested for a derogatory graffiti case in Bengaluru. He's radicalized, and several other people in Shimoga get radicalized, in Tirthalli to be specific. Then they manage to get the knowledge of making a bomb. They carry out a trial blast on the banks of River Tunga. And this, the local police stumble upon in a different stabbing case related to riots that happened in Shimoga. Then they realized that this was a bigger nexus. These people had carried out a trial blast on the banks of River Shimoga. One of the members from this particular module goes on to carry out the pressure cooker blast in Bengaluru. Maz Munir is arrested. Sharik, who's the bomber in the Bengaluru blast case, is arrested. Two others get arrested from Tirthalli. But there are still people who were absconding at that point. That was Muzaffar, now identified as the bomber in Rameshwaram blast case. The other is Abdul Taha Mateen, who's said to be the handler and the key conspirator in the Bengaluru blast case. They go cold. There is no lead that the NIA gets from them. They are put on the NIA's most wanted list. They make it to that. But nothing that happens ever since November 2022. What we do now know is that sometime in January 2024, these people travel to Chennai, and then they hatch their next plan to carry out a blast in Bengaluru. That's where they've procured certain elements, whether it's the costume. We are yet to know how they procured and from where they procured the explosives, because in Shimoga and in Bengaluru, they procured it locally. It was the same pattern that is used, just like the cooker blast in Bengaluru, same ID with a 9-volt battery that was used even in Rameshwaram cafe blast. That's the reason in the initial few hours itself, the local intelligence and the local police started looking at modules that could have perhaps got reactivated and the similarities in the bombs that were made. And Shimoga module was one of the primary suspects even back then, without any solid evidence. And then they started to look at people who were absconding. And the first major lead, of course, came in terms of this man being identified traveling in a BMTC bus. Then also the cap that, as you rightly mentioned, was a major breakthrough. So the Shimoga ISIS module, perhaps now we can say, has been dismantled to a large extent. But let's not forget there was one crucial handler who goes by the name Colonel. He perhaps is still absconding, and agencies believe he might not be in India, he might be abroad.
Absolutely. In fact, it could be Colonel only who could throw more light on the financing of this entire module, because everything that you've shared so far, Harish, goes on to indicate that there's been an organized sort of guidance, procurement, even funding behind such kind of terror modules. Having said that, in fact, we have some breaking inputs coming in from Bengal. Remember,